Welcome everyone to an open door. It is still March. It is March 30th, 2026. This is an open door. Last I checked, they still called me Cyndi. And this is the hour that we have entitled Where the Rubber Meets the Road, where we take something from A Course in Miracles and we talk about uh, how we can use it and how it shows up in our lives. Rona had an appointment this morning, so uh,
Can I just share a quick thought that just occurred to me? I've been watching the history of Iran and the Persian and all, so fascinated with it, all the culture, the religion, everything. And I suddenly had this thought, this group over time, in a way, is like this group of old timers of the culture, the history. I just had that feeling, kind of a continuation of what I've been watching on the TV. So I just want to tell you, I like that feeling. You kind of like culture. You're like nature. You're kind of getting weatherward and erosion and all, and we're all just kind of here. So thank you, even old John.
thank you, William. Amy's back. It's good to have you back. Could we hear your voice before we get started again with whatever today's teaching is?
It's great to be back. I'm really happy to be here and lots to share, which I'm sure will happen. But I thought about all of you the entire time, and I just want to echo what I heard William say. And I joined a little bit late, but it was just what a grounding it is for me, as in my own being to have this group of mighty companions, and you were with me the entire time and helped me in innumerable ways during difficult situations. So thank you very much. I just want to say that.
I thank you. And I heard William mention the Persians, and I thought I was going to save the song until after I shared a bit about where I am with dream roles. Uh, but because of William's share, I'm going to play the song first. It's about 5.5 minutes long. So let's do that. And then we'll talk a little bit about how this section in the course entitled Dream Roles affected me before I hand things over. So here we go.
Didn't I tell you, don't leave me behind? I am your only friend, I'm the spring of life. Even in anger, if you walk away, through thousands of years, you'll come back someday. Because every road you choose, every truth you try to find, all the ends you run into were already mine. Didn't I tell you I'm your goal, your end? Every broken journey bends back again. Didn't I tell you when you feel alone, I'm the place you're going, I'm your home. Didn't I tell you, don't be deceived by colors that fade and promises weak. I am the painter behind what you see, the hand that designed what you're meant to be. Didn't I tell you I'm your goal, your end? Every broken journey bends back again. Didn't I tell you you are the fish? Don't go to dry land where love can't exist. I am the deep sea where breathing is free. Stay in the waters that carry you, please. Didn't I tell you don't fall in the net, like birds who forget what flight really meant? I am your wings, I am power and light. I am the rise inside every fight. They'll try to freeze you, turn fire to stone, make you forget what you've always known. But I am your warmth, your burning flame, the heat in your heart calling your name. Didn't I tell you they'll corrupt your sight, make you forget what is wrong and right? I am the spring of virtue and truth, the source you were given before you were you. Didn't I tell you don't question the way? Everything falls where it's meant to stay. Didn't I tell you your heart already knew? It guides you home, straight back to truth. Didn't I tell you follow what stars deep in the silence inside your heart? Because it knows before you ask. I am your master, I always was.
Okay. The choice is not between which dreams to keep, but only if you want to live in dreams or awaken from them. The dreams you think you like would hold you back as much as those in which fear is seen. So sitting with this section and the teaching in general, it lit up. It's the guides. How do I want to define the dream? I define the dream as anything that feeds the belief in separation. And regardless of how subtle it is, where there's separation, there is a layer of fear and a belief that there could be someplace God is not. It's a clear teaching. And if I drop just that that one idea. This is what a dream is. A dream is an experience that feeds the belief that there could be a place where God is not, where what I am is somehow separate from you. And I accept whether I am acknowledging it or not. The only way that could exist is if there's some vibration of fear being believed, justified. The invitation in this section is not to deny the dream, which is so interesting, right? How often we've had that conversation, so I don't feel to go deeply into this idea. We don't reject or deny the experience, but we can change its purpose. That's really, we could choose the purpose of whatever this experience of separation is. We can continue to feed the ego's idea, to use the Course's technology, that this dream, this belief that I'm being challenged and I must defend or attack, or there's a me and a not you, is proof that there are places that God isn't real and that fear is justified. Or I can say, look at this experience. It is occurring. Let me give it to the aspect of self, in this case, the Holy Spirit, the aspect of self that knows that there is a divine purpose in every moment. And as Nadego states, tells us over and over and over again, everything is for me. And this experience holds within it an opportunity to bring more love and light and higher vibration into whatever you want to call it. I'm being very careful. I'm not attached to words right now. I'm in a direct experience. That song moves me, the experiences I have that move me, the understanding that no matter what is going on in this experience, the invitation is for me not to deny the experience, but to choose its purpose. I could choose its purpose. And that's a lot of what sitting with, meaning that I could choose to allow this to show me where I am being resistant to the teachings. I can allow the divine. And very personal example. There is someone in my, not big in my world, but enough in my world. And I've had occasions with her over the years where I felt attacked. And there is, I believe that there's going to be an exchange tomorrow. It's actually all made up in my head, but there's going to be a conversation tomorrow that has set off a continual conversation that I keep running into in my space. So it's not even in the world, but somehow I keep walking into this thing in my head where I'm defending and justifying my position over and over again. And I keep hearing a voice in my head justifying it based on my interpretation of things that happened last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. If you only knew what she said to me when, if you only knew what happened when, like over and over again. And I'm sitting here going, every one of these things noticed includes a me and a not me, a past, an interpretation of a past, a seeming justification for why I am right and she is wrong, a continuous justification for staying small and out of it. Like it's, the more I've been noticing it relative to all these teachings, it's been very interesting because the body's responding as if it's real. And I am choosing, especially now before there's no conversation, like the conversation doesn't happen until tomorrow. So it's giving me lots of opportunities to notice how often the mind is telling me there's a problem and that I have to hold my place and be ready to defend my position. But in my defenselessness, my safety lies. And what is it about this experience that would have me believe that the world of separation is real? Right now, 100% of it is taking place in the mind. So it really is easy to look and say, this is all a dream, right? This is all a belief in, And over again, I'm also reminded that the guides tell me that the tone does the work. A Course in Miracles tells me it is God that takes the final step. I've been My next homily is next month, and I'm using Joel's teaching. And Joel, the part of the reading that I'm spending time with every single day, just tells me to rest in spirit and trust. Just rest in spirit and know that there's only one power. Like literally, I could see how there's an historical belief that I have to defend myself against a power that's stronger than I am. It's so interesting. So I'm using this aspect of the dream and watching myself surrender it, surrender it, surrender it, choose its purpose. The purpose is for me to ask for the forgiveness, to accept the atonement, to know that what this mind keeps telling me happened never happened. And my notes say I'm going to read the last two paragraphs and then I'm going to hand things over to Andrew. This is not, by the way, in the beginning of the week when this was first announced in my head, I thought this teaching was going to sound very, very different than what happened when I sat with it this morning. How happy would your dreams become if you were not the one who gave the proper role to every figure that the dream contains? No one can fail but your idea of him. So I keep this being that I'm talking about. This system, from a point of view of separation, has a very strong, clinging sense of who she is and what she did and what she means to me. And it's justified over and over in here, but it's not true. No one can fail but your idea of him, and there is no betrayal but of this. The core of dreams the Holy Spirit gives is never one of fear. And I can tell you in this particular story I'm talking about, just the fact that I keep defending my position means that there is fear. The coverings may not appear to change, but what they mean has changed because they cover something else. Perceptions are determined by their purpose, in that they seem to be what they are for. A shadow figure who attacks becomes a brother giving you a chance to help. If this becomes the function of the dream, and dreams of sadness thus are turned to joy. So one of the things that are happening as I sit in this particular situation, because I've also noticed, for me anyway, the fastest transformation happens not when I talk about these teachings generally, but that when I literally bring them to something that's happening in my world right now, as specific as I can get it. So over and over and over again, there's this thought of this woman and supposedly what she's done. And based on these teachings, every time I catch it, I'm literally asking God to help me love her. I'm not sending love. We've heard about this, but right now I am acknowledging something in here wants to be proven right and her wrong. And from that point of view, I can't fix it, but I can ask what can to meet it. And I over and over and over again, my prayer has been, help me to bless her. I'm not blessing her. I hope when I'm in this contraction, I'm not feeling like I can see the divine in her, but I am literally praying to see the divine in her. I am praying for this to be healed in me. I am praying for whatever it is that knows the truth to teach me how to love her, to teach me how to forgive this, to teach me to want nothing but her success. And I could tell you, even as I'm saying this, I ain't there yet. Like the activity of mind that insists she's not me and separate, and she really hurt me, and I can't let that go, is still alive. And so I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying I'm noticing the thought of separation, and I'm asking the Holy Spirit to help me use this aspect of the dream to heal this belief in separation. And in this way, my brother is my greatest teacher, right? Because all of these things it's not even happening in real life. It's not like I'm living with her, you know? What is your brother for? You do not know because your function is obscure to you. Do not ascribe a role to him which you imagine would bring happiness to you. And there is a part here that wants to prove that I'm right. It's not going to help me. And do not try to hurt him when he fails to take the part which you assign to him in what you dream your life was meant to be. He asks for help in every dream he has, and you have help to give him if you see the function of the dream as he perceives its function. Who can utilize all dreams as means to serve the function given him, because he loves the dreamer, not the dream. Each dream becomes an offering of love, for at its center is his love for you, which lights whatever form it takes with love. So again, there is this seeming other, not part of our community, by the way, in case anyone's playing that game, who apparently hurt me in ways that something here hasn't yet forgiven. And she's still part of my larger world. And thoughts of her have been coming up a lot lately. And there are parts of my world that are shifting and changing. And I am seeing like it's like I keep walking into these conversations. Like I'm noticing they're happening in my head. And I am noticing defense and attack, which is separation, which is fear. And in this case, that's the dream. And in my yearning to utilize these teachings, in my yearning to know God's dream for me, to be of highest divine service, I am continuously sitting still when I notice, and I am asking for the forgiveness. I am asking to be taught how to just be love when it comes to the seeming other. I am recognizing that she's a tremendous gift because she is highlighting this belief in separation in me in a very, very personal way, which is what's most useful for me. For me, anyway, in my story, the governments and the big kind of things, they don't work as well for me as who has hurt Cyndi. Somehow, this is where I transform the fastest, when I can eat away at this belief that this is what you did to me or mine. And so, Andrew, I'm handing the mic over.
Thank you, Cyndi. Hello, everyone. I love you all. Well, it sounds to me like you're on the right track, Cyndi. The, I think I read somewhere, or maybe the guide said that the bad dreams are where we really learn the invaluable lessons, not the good stuff, not the good dreams. And I didn't really prepare anything, but this morning, when I was still in bed, I had a dream that turned into sort of a nightmare. I'll tell you because I could give it to you short. The dream, I was sent on from my job, I was sent on a task to go buy two window air conditioners. I don't know what the background of it is, but I had to go get two window air conditioners, some other equipment. I went to the store, I bought what I had to buy, and I put everything on this one big cart, and I'm pushing it around. I go out to the parking lot, and I can't find the truck. And I'm looking all over for the truck, pushing this heavy cart, and it's not where I thought it would be. And this is a shopping mall, so the parking lot is huge. So after looking for so long, pushing this cart, I left the cart and I started running through the parking lot looking for the truck. Didn't find it. Then I go back to where I left the cart, and the cart's gone. I lost everything. And it was very frustrating. I mean, I was very upset in this dream. The boss came along. He drives up and he's all angry and yelling at me because I lost the air conditioners that I just bought and all. At that point, I realized that this was a dream. I realized it, and I was able to wake up and everything was okay after that. But yeah, it was a very unpleasant dream. And then today, as I was thinking about it, there have been dreams, and I'm sure this is true for all of us. There have been dreams where I wake up from a really nice dream and want to go back to sleep and continue the dream, but that always fails too. I don't know what the point is, but we could wake up from our dreams. That's what we're trying to do, trying to wake up from this big dream that we're stuck in. And maybe there was a lesson in that one where I lost everything. Maybe it's loss isn't real. That's all I've got. Thank you. Once again, I love you all, and it's great to be here.
Just get the lesson correctly. You know where it is. Loss. Is loss real? $270. Oh, no, it's not. Forgiveness ends all suffering and loss is the lesson. So is loss real? Forgiveness ends all suffering and loss. I think it's 240 something. Who's going to share? Please, Amy.
Gosh, I was so committed to the idea of just holding back and listening to everybody else, but I have missed all of you, and I just want to share. This is a really wonderful, wonderful section, and what pulls me to it is paragraph 2 in the Purple Book, or where I'm on section 6, paragraph 2 on page 861. And it says, the changelessness of heaven is in you. So deep within that nothing in this world but passes by unnoticed and unseen. And what that points to me is just coming right back to the I am presence and just being the witness and staying there, allowing everything to arise, including this anger at this woman, and the fear, seeing the fear of not only thinking that the dream is real and believing she can attack you and that you deserve to attack her back, but also even seeing the desire to learn from the experience. Because even the desire to learn from the experience is being witnessed by that silent, deep place within. And I'm finding in my own investigation that I can just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into witnessing what arises. And so even the desire to be a witness can be witnessed. And I also want to say, it says, and I'm paragraph 2, the last sentence, nothing is asked of you. Nothing is asked of you but to accept the changelessness and the eternal that abides in him, for your identity is there. That's all that's asked, is to recognize the changeless I am. And on the plane yesterday, I was reading Divine Union, and the guides are saying, not I see all things new, we see all things new. And they're asking us to do exactly what we're doing here, which is to join our voice and our seeing and our knowing together, and to recognize the community that we are, and the one mind that we are, the one heart that we are. This group of companions, all of you, each and every one of you was with me multiple times a day, the entire time I was gone. We had lots of self-inflicted wounding. I traveled with a group of 3 other couples and a woman who was our host, and we bickered the entire time. People who thought they were really great friends bickered about scheduling, about what we were going to do, when we were going to do it. People that thought they were really fast friends got into arguments with each other. And I sat and watched it. And there were times when I participated in it. But the entire time I thought about all of you. And as I sat at the table where people were going back and forth with each other, every one of you was there helping me, because I asked all of you to help me to perceive and see the truth about what was going on. And you were there. And you did not fail. So that's all I have for now.
Thank you. Before I hand things over to William, I want to read these words from Divine Union that I wrote down this morning. And I'll tell you, I wrote them down because I love the word preposterous. So I want to highlight that word. When you realize who and what you are beyond separation, in acknowledgement of truth, the very idea of separation becomes preposterous. An idea that was once held in credence and acknowledged as fact, that was indeed never true. I don't know about you, but I got chills just reading it. Preposterous, this idea that I'm not you, that we aren't from the same source.
And I will say, trying to explain that to a group of people that have not investigated was met with so much skepticism.
Yeah. Hey, William. You'll have to unmute if you want us to hear you. There you go.
I want me to hear me at least. I just have been absorbing myself in the world situation. And I noticed that, and do not try to hurt him when he fails to take the part which you assigned him in what you dream your life was meant to be. Or the phrase, be very still and hear God's voice in him and let it tell you what his function is. He was created that you might be whole, for only the complete can be a part of God's completion. I love this phrase, turn your attention to the truth, not to the personal separated self. And that keeps hearing the words of Gangaji, stop, stop, be still, be still. The quiet that surrounds you dwells in all. And from this quiet comes the happy dreams in which your hands are joined. And I see it's so just as you talked about, Amy, the back and forth, back and forth. And I see the sides, the escalation ladder that the world is in now. Yes, stepping back is just so senseless, but it is what it is. And I'm making it up, and I'm drawn to look at it, but there's a part of me that's just observing me, observing what's going on out there. And I just find that it is a dream. And I just back myself away. I'm still in the dream, but there's a part of me that's not in the dream. And I think that's the stillness. And that's just now. Be here now, be here now. So I just want to say that it sure has helped me. And I can be both in the dream, not in the dream. I can be at least observing the dream, and then I can be also the one that's holding the dream and in love. And it just feels so good. I feel at peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, John.
Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. The rubber hits the road. The rubber hits the road. Wow. What an opportunity. Cyndi, let me say, I love your stories. I love them. And the biggest one that comes to me when I put my hand up is because I just Googled what preposterous means. And I love that word too. But I would like a definition of it. And I'd just like to share this because I think it's apropos to our topic today. Preposterous, contrary to reason / common sense. Utterly absurd, ridiculous. Utterly absurd and ridiculous. So these dreams going on, So honestly, I think if we could laugh at them and whatever it takes to take a laugh at them is going to interrupt the pattern because patterns persist, persistent patterns. And if we can find a joke in this, and oh, that's such a beautiful word. I'm going to use that a lot more often. Utterly absurd and ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm inspired to share. I was with a dear friend who I love this morning. She lives in Germany, and so many different layers. So in this moment right now, I don't know if she's in her 40s or early 50s. I don't know how old she is. She has severe leukemia, and she's often in severe pain. And she's an opera singer and an organ player. And like I've heard her sing, it's stunning. Right now, she's in a clinic that's in a very small village in the middle of nowhere in Germany, the same village that Bach did most of his writing in. And when she got there last week, she walked into the church where he sat in front of this organ that's still there and wrote prolifically for the church every week. And she asked if she could play the organ, and they said yes. And then they found out that she sung, and they asked her to sing this Friday, Good Friday, in the church. Well, someone plays the organ. She's singing music from Bach while the organ's being played. And she's one of my dyad partners, and she, at the same time, could talk about the divine perfection. In the same breath, she's talking about how intensely painful her body, like she's like the body. And again, words are words. Like I could argue what the definition of suffering is, and it doesn't matter. She can talk about how intensely her body's suffering, and it doesn't matter because she is being divine love presence. That's her verbiage. And she's singing, and she's stepping into this church where Bach wrote playing and singing with the organ that Bach sat at. And for her, she's in heaven, even while her body is intensely suffering. And we talk about that juxtaposition or the paradox of that so often in our group. And somehow, when I'm with her, and she often reaches for the Divine Mother. That's the energy that brings her the most peace, right? When I'm with her and I'm sinking into that experience, something shifts in me and everything is allowed, include, right? And I'm in this place right now where I don't want to change my story as much as I want to fully, like I want it, I want to know it. It's a different kind of shift. I know on some level that when something is fully experienced, it will shift and become something other. But the subtler I get with this work, the more I realize there are these layers that are still expecting Cyndi to change. And as long as I push back on my experience right now, I am in resistance. And I don't want to resist anything anymore. I'm sitting with her and with others and listening to people's stories. Listening to Pat's story last week changed me. Like she was a great definition of that too. If you haven't listened to the replay of Pat Lubo's story, I recommend that you do it. You know, just this understanding that trauma doesn't define us, knowing that God is never absent changes everything. And I think that's what this lesson is, and these dream roles are, knowing that we're not, like we can fully experience what's happening here and still not let it define us. I saw you turn your video on, Regis, and it looks like you're on your phone instead of your computer because you're so little. How's life in this moment?
Life is life is fun. And life is full of laughter. I am on my phone, which is a rare occasion that I'm on my iPhone. And I went into the school system today. One of my favorite schools needed me for a few hours. I won't be here all day. I just covering for the PE teacher who needed to go to the dentist. So I'm in his office. And luckily, the class that's supposed to be here right now went on a field trip. So you gotta laugh. I'm getting paid to be at open door. So life is well. Thank you.
Thank you. Ah, who else would like to share about this lesson or anything else that's coming up? Rick, we can only see you from the chin down, right? That's better. Richard.
Morning, everyone. Love us all. What I liked about this session was it reminded me what we're all going through right now. We as separate cells, we and students of the Course in Miracles, we are individually trying to heal our individual minds. And we do that by when we experience anything other than love, we realize we're in the wrong mind. We realize there's a lesson for us to learn, and we surrender the story and let the feelings, whatever they are, to arise and be healed. And so the same thing is happening in the collective. And we are just representative of what's going on in the whole separated world. Fear is arising in all of us, and we're individually dealing with it, we're also collectively dealing with it at a level we don't quite understand. At least I don't quite understand. So we're all trying to refine our awakening. We're all awake. We all know what we are in truth. But now we're trying to make it real. We're trying to heal our minds, which are not healed yet. And so what I like about this section is, even when we get to the real world, it's still an illusion. The real world is an illusion until God takes the final step. And then all is one, and there's only isness. And my understanding of what the Course teaches. So if we apply the theory in the Course in Miracles to the world we're witnessing right now, we're healing the world by healing ourselves. We're healing the collective by healing ourselves. Now, we may be a collective of what we have 13 people here this morning. We may be our own collective, but if we represent the larger collective of the human race, we realize that all of us individually, even though we're part of the collective, are still struggling with the identity of the separate self. We're still having problems in our life. We're still having grievances in our experience, which means our minds are not yet healed, even though we're awake. So we continue to do the work necessary. Even the I am disappears. When God takes the final step, there is only isness. So getting back to the I am, or the one child of God who thought he separated from his source, now he knows he did not separate from source, and we're all going through that experience of realizing we never separated from source, but we still are holding on to this individual self that was created out of the projection of sin, guilt, and fear. And we're replacing that. We've already replaced it with peace, love, and joy. We're just trying to figure out, how do I manifest the peace, love, and joy that we are in truth, moment to moment. So I really got a lot out of this session. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing. John.
Yeah, thanks, Richard. And one of the things you said I picked up on was refine our thinking, because making this, continually refining this is actually the definition of science. Refine our thinking. We keep taking steps on this, So you're right. Like everybody's taking their steps here and refining and adding to the mess. But one thing that I got that I'd like to share is in this, since we're talking doorways, an open door, confusion is a doorway to understanding. This is the first step. So, hey, it's, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad, it's a wonderful kind of state to think, hey, I'm confused with what's going on here. The land of confusion, and this really comes from Alice in Wonderland, when you just yes and knowing all your way through life, and what the hell is going on, and upside down and this way up. What are you smoking here? What's going on here? This is a massive illusion going on here. It is an answer of Alice in Wonderland story, and I like the Wonderland part too. And one of the things that I got to that I really want to share, a couple of things actually, is a question to ask this fear. What love are you protecting right now? Sit with that one for a little while. Frank Fairley, absurdities. We're talking about absurdities. Another question. What is my passion presently? And how does it add to my joy in life? What is my passion presently? You hear that in Richard's voice. You hear that in Cyndi's plea. You hear that in, oh my goodness, Amy's stories about her companions. That was such a joke. Squabbling like children. That's an awakening right there. So, so it's just over 100 years ago, Pavlov discovered this. What he's trained doing his dog thing, but we're just being conditioned in this, and we can uncondition our way. And I think it is a step-by-step thing. I think the first step is awareness, and we get to that through the doorway of confusion. It's okay to get confused now and again, and just keep trekking. So I'll say I love everybody, and I'm so happy to be here on a Monday morning, so that I can refine my thinking. What are my passions now? What are my passions, and how can they add to my joy in life? You're part of my major joy here. Every person on this screen. Thank you so much for you.
Thank you for you, Joe. I love what we do together. Can I share one thing, Amy, and then it's all yours? And it's just that um, in what, 2.5 hours-ish, we're going to be listening to the guides. And for those who can join us, in what they shared I've been known to make a mistake, what I believe we're listening to, they shared that the key has already been inserted in wherever we are, and the divine has been activated in every human. In every human, it has been released. And then they go on to say, and you're not ahead because you know it. Hey, Amy.
Well, that was a good one. Yeah. How can you be ahead when there's only one? What would you be ahead of? Years and years and years ago, I had a dream of being somewhere in the Southwest. And when we went out to Arizona and New Mexico, there was something in me that was really yearning to see if I could reconnect with that dream, because the dream was enormously powerful. In the dream, there's a Native American man who is, I think, my father, and there are white people that seem like cavalry in the background, and they're under a canvas covered tent that is where there are tables all throughout underneath the tent, and they're sort of looking through artifacts or looking through things that are on the table. And I'm connected to this Native American man who is a leader. And he's on his knees and he is weeping. He has lost us. And I feel the sense of his overwhelming loss and sadness and love for me. And the part of the reason that dream affected me so much is that I never, ever felt that love from my father. I never sensed it, never saw it. And I always wondered, where did that knowing of how deep and gut-wrenching a father's love could be for his child. Where did that knowing come from within me when I had never experienced it before in this life? And that has stayed with me for a really long time. And I'm realizing this morning I realized it yesterday, there was something in me still that looked at that dream. And as Richard reminds us this morning, it was just a dream within a dream. And yet, even within the dream, I wanted to go out and see if I could find something of that dream out there. And so I went around the ruins, some of which were from 500 AD, wandered around these unbelievable environments of enormous cliff sides and little habitations constructed under these huge overhangs. Those of you who've been there, you know what I'm talking about. And so I went out sort of unconsciously in search of something that would give me some answers about that dream. I was strongly, strongly connected to it. And then I realized that it's just a dream about another dream, and that I was really bringing the past into the present and trying to make sense of it. And I hadn't let it go. And I'd romanticized it, and I'd romanticized the Pueblos and the Anasazi and all of that. And I've let it go now. I've blessed it and let it go. Yeah. And how long had I kept that dream of a dream going? For so long. Yeah. I love, Richard, when you remind us that we are really just dreaming and that the dream is done. It's over. But the fan is just still moving, even though the cord has been unplugged, right? And so Cindy's story this morning, it's just the fan still going, even though the cord has been unplugged. And we're just watching the fan continuing to move. And so when we stay in this I am place, this place of silence and deep stillness that's eternal and changeless, that's what is like the finger in the moving fan and stops it from moving. That quiets it down and slows it down into stillness. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you. We've pretty much been together for an hour, which is really very, very exciting. And I love us. Welcome to another week at an open door. And we will meet again in 2.5 hours for those that can join to listen to the guides. And we're having training wheels tomorrow.
Mm.
Yay. We're going to have a lot of Amy this week. We have training wheels. She's facilitating finding truth. We are having Evita and ACIM. And she's actually facilitating Friday too.
Oh,
There's a
God.
lot of Amy this week. So,
Oh,
all right, let
out of the
me.
frying pan into the fire.
Welcome back.
Okay.